Hi guys, here is another very quick video. I've speeded up this to 3 times the speed, but just to show how I would use the interface of ZBrush to create concept art. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just using the zoom button there so I can see the whole size of my canvas, because often you can make a mistake of making a tiny figure on a large canvas where you don't realize you've zoomed completely in. So now I'm going to import on the right hand side of my palette, and I'm going to find a 3D model in the form of an object file .obj. So I have this creature man I created in DAZ 3D just as a standard presets with my character morph tools. This helps me to just knock out a figure very fast that I can use for illustration purposes. So I'm just rotating him now. I've pressed T on my keyboard so that the transform tools on the right are highlighted, which means I can rotate the object. Okay. Now I'm using the standard brush on your side just to kind of demonstrate how you can manipulate the model you've brought in from Maya or DAZ or Poser or 3D Studio Max. And now I'm using an alpha. Now how the alphas work, they're like custom brushes in Photoshop, so you can use it to texture your model and create like leather and skin effects, or if you get more into hard surface modeling, you can use it to kind of scratch into metals and things like that. I think they're great tools for that. For instance, this guy now could be made of rock or lava. So I'm just going to distort his face a bit here, just using the spiral brush. I just want to get really abstract here and just like, using some of the tools, just experiment. Also messing there with what you can see in the top middle is Z intensity and draw size. How they work is draw size basically the size of your brush, and intensity is how much you want to add or cut into your model. Now I'm adding some extra elements in the form of buttons. Now the reason the figure is dark is because he is automatically masked. So I've pressed masking there on the right hand side and pressed clear so that all of the figure is again in one, can be edited together. Now I'm going to use some other tools there, just some real abstract mechanical shapes just to work with my figure. I'm using transpose tool now, which you'll find in the toolbar, to move just that object, not the whole figure, or because the move button moves the whole figure within the scene. I'm using transpose and the center button, clicking the center button of transpose in order to just move that object. And just building up some shapes. And I'll use transpose here now on the shoulder. Hit the middle button just to kind of make it into some kind of abstract shoulder shape. It could be that this was like some kind of distorted creature made of mechanical parts. Now I'm going to use a deformation. Here you can use inflate your character, inflate him here, he gets really fat, or I'm doing the opposite, I'm going to go deflate. So he actually skinnies up a little. You can see his fingers now become quite distorted. Kind of going, almost thinking muscular, kind of Slender Man kind of idea. Now when you export here on the right hand side, you can see that I'm exporting as an OBJ. Okay. So what I've done is I've exported the figure, and now I'm going to create a new canvas. And I could export there as save as is a ZTL file, which is just ZBrush's version, and which won't open in other things. Just in ZBrush, but OBJ will open across the board. So now I'm gone into document and I've resized my template. I'm changing my background color by pressing back and turning off range in the document options. And the reason I did that is so that I have a document size close to an A4 page in Photoshop, or A3. So I can make a high resolution model that I can export then later on. So here's my guy now. Just turn, and the reason I have him sideways is just because he's taller. I can get him onto the page better. So I can rotate him later in Photoshop and make him stand upward. So now I've pressed the button on top in the middle called render and best, so you can see that I'm getting a much better skin texture and shadow. So I can take that, I've exported both versions of the file simply because in case ZBrush crashes out when rendering at best, you already have one saved. And now I'm just changing my materials so that I have some extra light effects and shadows that I can blend in Photoshop on my creature or character. The same as you would if you were doing high passes or so forth in Photoshop. And I'm just going to do a quick turnaround now so I have him. As you can see, I'm having a bit of difficulty rotating him, and the issue there is that he is it's a very large file. Okay, and when he disappeared off the screen there, I simply pressed the frame button so that the model can be found and situated back in the center of my image. So now I've closed ZBrush. I'm going to open Photoshop, A3 file, rotate sideways, and I'm going to go into my figures I've just rendered out now. And I'm just going to overlay the different elements on top of each other. So this is my guy. I'll rotate. I just resized for myself, so it's 300 dpi at 21 by 37. So it's practically an A3 or an A4 page. That's kind of where I like to be at, especially I would never work under A4. So now I'm just bringing in my different layers, our smart layers, and using the soft light bending mode. As you can see, I've blended them over so I can get some good shadows and a nice mix. Now the shader I use is just black and white with light edging. I've changed to be on the screen mode so that black becomes transparent. Now I'm creating masks. So I copy and select the same area and create a mask across the board on each layer, and bring my guy into another, and back into the A3 composite that I made. I'm going to copy them over so that I can work on the same character with different textures and different colors. Now it's not an ideal turnabout, because an ideal turnaround should have the character, as you can see there, from the side and maybe from the back. As you can see, it's quite abstract, and now he's ready for a bit of photo bashing and some extra texture.